Leaving the ballpark now. Instant reaction. So here's your surprise. I told you there would be something fun for home games. Yeah, I work here. So it's going to be a long walk to the car, but we're going to do a walk and talk. And I'm going to tell you how this game went. Braves just walked it off. They seemed hopeless most of the night. They could get runners on, but they could not drive them in. And so where should we start? First off, the bullpen is not going to get enough credit for how good they were tonight. They had to cover the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th and didn't give up anything. And so I think that was Chavez for 2, to Jimenez, to Bummer, to Iglesias, to Johnson. Fantastic work by the bullpen tonight. And so Strider came out. He seemed like he had adrenaline, but he got punched in the mouth early. Ketel Marte leadoff homer. And that's good for my fantasy team. At least the Ketel part, not the Strider part, but it's not good for the Braves. I've previously said that the Braves will go as far as Spencer Strider takes them this year. And tonight was not a good outing. There's no way to get around it. I think he'll bounce back. And I think tomorrow we're going to see a Max Fried that is Mad Max should be out in full force at Truist Park tomorrow night. And so, yeah, let's talk about the offense. Marcell Ozuna with an RBI knock in the first inning. And I think that really helped calm Spencer down because he was really, really good until that 4th inning. And he knew his boys were behind him. Matt Olson, yeah, that was hit a long way. That was right in front of me, right between the shop house and Home Depot right there. Really, he got all of that one. It's cliche, but he did. And then late, it seemed every single inning, Braves could put runners on, and then they couldn't do anything with them. And it's a shame. And I felt like that's how it's been at times for the Braves when they fall short in the playoffs. What really comes to mind is that series in the COVID year against the Dodgers. But Ronald Acuna finally got on the board. He got jobbed on a call with the bases loaded. I don't know if the broadcast showed it, but Acuna normally doesn't get that mad at the umpire. And I'm pretty shocked he didn't get thrown out. But yeah, there was no part of the order that didn't really produce tonight. For a little while there, you could say the top of the order, but Acuna more than carried his weight. RBI double brought this within 2. And after that, it really just, you could feel the momentum at Truist. And as crazy really as it is, and as baseball is a sport of momentum, and you've felt that the last 2 years in the playoffs. So the Braves managed, let's just talk about the 9th inning. So Rysell comes out, shutdown inning in the 9th. And then we get the top of the order. So Riley, Olsen, supposed to be Ozuna duo.
Yeah.
So we get the little hit to Riley. For Riley, clearly an error. He should have been out. But that's why you put the ball in play. And we stressed that in Philly. Put the ball in play. And it paid off. The Diamondbacks could not play defense tonight at times. And so Riley's on first. Matt Olson double. He runs all the way home. That's the fastest I've seen Austin Riley run. And he's not a slow runner. He's big, but he can move. I think he's 60th in sprint speed, 60th percentile in sprint speed. So he's actually above average, despite, being young, thick Austin Riley. Matt Olson was fantastic tonight. And that was going to bring up Marcelo Zuna, who I thought was having a fantastic night up to that point. But we play the matchup. Kelnick comes in, and he pops up. So, I don't mind the decision on its face, and it shows that the Braves are playing a little bit differently this year. They would have left Ozuna in last year. With the game he was having, it doesn't matter the platoon advantages. Kelnick was not coming into that game. Kelnick this year comes in, gets your pop up, and just falls in no man's land. I don't know if the broadcast picked it up, but it was very, very, very windy tonight here at Truist, and it wasn't just straight line wind. The wind was swirling above the stadium, and you could tell with the ball coming down, it looked like a knuckleball. Like, it looked like R.A. Dickey dropped it from the sky. So I don't think it should have counted as an error. It would have been a very tough ball to field in no man's land. But something that isn't going to get enough credit. Kelnick reached second on that to put himself in scoring position because he knew the throw wasn't going to come his way. And he busted his tail down there. And that's just something that you got to applaud. Bench player trying to remake his career here in Atlanta, and he's making a fantastic impression so far on all the Braves fans. Okay, so your situation. You got Kelnick on second in a tie ball game with one out. Mike's up, and this is where I was kind of surprised. I felt for sure that we would see them walk Mike to get to Orlando. And it didn't happen. They got the strikeout like they wanted. And then after that, Orlando's been the best hitter for the Braves for the first week of the season. I was absolutely shocked that the Diamondbacks didn't elect to just throw up the force for Orlando to get to Travis, who hasn't hit up to his standard so far this season, but it worked out for him. But we go to the 10th. Pierce Johnson, man, perfect. Everything looked crisp tonight. That change up, there was one he threw that just buckled in. And you can only get away with that pitch once, but it's unhittable the first time you throw it. So I don't fault him at all. Perfect outing for Pierce Johnson again. I think he needed that. But realistically, the bullpen's been fantastic to start this season. And that brings us to the bottom of the 10th. No runs. So he needs one hit with Manfred rules. And the Braves, this is where having the fear of Ronald Acuna Jr. comes in. Ronald Acuna has not had the best start to this season. He just hasn't. But everyone in the National League is so scared of this man that the Diamondbacks ignored the analytics that say to walk Travis d'Arnaud to set up the double play, just to not face Acuna. And this is where the Braves' depth really shines, because d'Arnaud hitting in the 9-hole, I think that's actually a really good spot for him. I love d'Arnaud in the 9-hole, but he's not an easy at bat either. So d'Arnaud sees all the pitches because of Acuna behind him, and 2 strikes, base hit, knock down, splits the gap. No way to do it. 4 swallows in there, and the Braves walk it off in the home opener. So we'll get into the specifics here. Okay, I'm back. I'm not going to hide that cut, because that's just the beauty of a walk and talk series. You get me unedited. I might hit the stop button when I'm at a crosswalk. That's pretty much the extent of it. So yeah, actual deep dive. So Spencer tonight, nothing worked, at least in the first inning. He got it out. He gave you 4. It's about all you could have asked of him tonight. I thought the move to go to Jesse out of the pen was well timed. And Jesse Chavez, my goodness, that man is Superman in a Braves uniform. Everyone talks about it, but there really needs to be, like, once he retires, I want the full documentary on why Jesse did so well in Atlanta. Like, he needs to explain it, as long as it doesn't expose the Braves cheating lab that apparently exists, according to all the Twitter users in Philadelphia. But the bullpen, I gave them credit to start the show. They were my player of the game, or I guess players of the game when it's the bullpen. But they were fantastic again tonight. They've been fantastic to start the season. They've really only had 2 games where you didn't feel great about them. And I'm going to have to speak up now because the fireworks have started. But it's going to be a fun year with how well this team can just kill and opposing bullpens. I thought Arizona's starting pitching was really good. I think that this reason that tonight though was exactly why advanced analytics exist, because that final line in ERA is not going to look very bad. It's going to look like a good night against a good lineup. But the Braves were able to hit pretty much every pitcher that the Diamondbacks rolled out of the pen tonight. And they hit him hard. Like, it was inopportune at times because I feel like they would get a hard hit. Riley, I believe it was Riley, hit one hard, and it was just a diving play by the shortstop, and it robbed him of probably a double. So, and there were a lot of instances tonight. And like I said, I think the Braves are going to look back on this game, and they're going to be happy they won, but they're going to get a little bit scared on how close they came to losing with how many runners they put on base. So, you can't expect to win a Major League Baseball game against anyone. Could be the Oakland A's or the Chicago White Sox, but definitely not the defending National League champions. When you leave that many men on base. I don't know the exact number, but it felt like a lot. And everything. But the Braves come through in the ninth. You can never count them out. This lineup is too good. You have to pitch to them. And that's why we all love baseball. There's no timer. You can't just dribble it out or take a knee. You have to pitch to the last guy. And it just so happened to be the last three guys were Austin Riley, All-Star, Matt Olson, future MVP, and Jared Kelenic, former top prospect. And I think he's going to reach his potential here in Atlanta. I might consider doing a real deep dive on Jared Kelenic next week, if y'all want to see that, because I'm fascinated by what the Braves have done with him. You've seen a few videos of his swing and how it's changed in just the few weeks he's been here, and that's why he's struggled to start spring training, because, you know, using a different swing than you've used your entire life is hard, but it's working. So we'll see. I don't know who's on the mound yet tomorrow for Arizona, but I do know Max Fried will take the mound tomorrow, looking for redemption after what I don't think was that bad of a start in Philly, but he's going to see it as a terrible start. Max Fried, the competitor he is. So he only made it 2/3 of an inning and had 3 earned runs against the Phillies up in Citizens Bank. But I expect Max to compete. I expect 6 innings, a real quality start out of Max tomorrow, and I mean that in the literal term. The bullpen needs a break. You don't think about it this early in the season, but it's something that's absolutely needed. I'm crossing a crosswalk, so we're doing our best. But okay, but the bullpen has already been stressed hard the first week of the season, and it's not been the guys you expected. If you told me early in the year that maybe not Sale, I really liked the acquisition of Sale, and the only question with him was injuries. But if you told me through the first 6 games of the season that the Braves would have 2 starters leave before they completed 5 innings, with one not even completing 1 inning and one only completing 4, and you asked me to guess, I'm sorry, I would have guessed Reynaldo Lopez and Charlie Morton. And that couldn't have been further from the truth, with it being Max and Spencer. So I don't expect them to stay like that for long. They're too good. Baseball's weird, and we're just at the point this season where you can start to actually look at numbers and think it means something. But we're 6 games in, 7 or 8, depending if you've played every day and you haven't had rainouts like the Braves have. But it's been, the numbers will even out. I'm not concerned about Max or Spencer this early. And if Max gets 6 tomorrow, this is a quality Diamondbacks lineup. It's not on the same level as the Braves, but frankly, no one is. Except maybe the Dodgers. So, this is the matchup that I actually picked to be the NLCS. So, and I think tonight the entire country learned that this would be a fantastic playoff series if they ever met. Very deep pitching staffs for both teams. So, but I'm almost to my car. It was a long walk tonight. Long game. Felt pretty long. I need to check the actual number. But it's going to be fun. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Go Braves.